aircraft takeoff at this time. NASA CE.
This is Ace for NASA CE. NASA Engineering is go for takeoff.
Copy that. Engineering go for takeoff. SMA.
SMA is go.
Copy SMA go. SMD.
SMD is ready for takeoff.
Copy SMD ready for takeoff. NASA MEM.
NASA MEM is ready for takeoff.
Copy NASA MEM. LSP.
LSP is go.
NLM copies LSP go. The NASA team is go for L1011 takeoff.
This is Pegasus launch control.
And LC countdown, be advised, chase planes rolling.
T-minus 1 hour, 6 minutes, 10 seconds and counting. Chase plane getting ready to move into position. Waiting for go from the tower to have the L1011 taxi into position and hold.
LPO, LT on Victor 1.
LT, LPO, go ahead.
Here go for step 122, start instrument recorder and video recorder.
LT, LPO, recorders are on.
Copy, recorders on. And LPO, per the black line handwrite in the note above 123, you go to configure the AACS for takeoff. Maintain that AACS as required for a target fairing temp of 59 degrees F.
LPO copies the 59 degrees F, the AACS configured for takeoff.
And I roger that, or copy that LPO, we'll check 123. And launch team, step 124. Our target takeoff time for today will be 12:38:00 Zulu. That's 1238:00 Zulu. Target drop time for today's operation will be 13:35:00. That's 13:35:00 Zulu.
Do you need something, Bob? Yep, that's fine.
This is Pegasus launch control, T-minus 1 hour, 3 minutes, 30 seconds and counting.
Victor 1.
LT, LPO.
Yeah, I would like to request an additional inspection of launch pressures and activate the hydraulic pump if required at this time.
LCLPO, launch pressures recorded and nominal.
Copy that, LPO.
And that's step verifying our deployment system for the launch today. Here we see the chase plane taxiing into position for departure. Aircraft slight adjustment to their takeoff time, 7:38. Still targeting an 8:35 a.m. drop, and it appears that the chase plane does have sufficient ceiling and visibility to be able to depart first. So that means we'll have live video from the chase plane of the L-1011 departing from Canaveral. We're now 1 hour, 2 minutes, 25 seconds and counting. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
Countdown at this time. I'd like to poll for readiness for takeoff. Brock?
Rock is go.
Rock is go. Peg?
Peg is go.
Peg is go. Orbital?
Orbital is go.
Orbital is go. NLM?
NLM is go for takeoff.
NLM is go. Launch team is go for takeoff. And launch team is go for takeoff. PLT confirm.
PLT confirm.
And LPO, I will wait for your call on wheels up.
LPO copy.
L-1011 getting itself ready at the end of the taxiway.
There's 846 radar contact.
That's 846, 1 minute.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 57 minutes, 45 seconds and counting, less than 1 minute away from the departure of the L-1011.
And launch team, we're now complete our pre-takeoff checklist, currently in our climb cruise checklist.
Yes, 846, book, stand by, 846. Yes, 140.
LPO, LC, Victor 1, step 127, you go to stop nitrogen purge.
LC, LPO, purge is off.
Copy purge off, and LPO, you go for step 128. Configure GN2 for captive carry and adjust AACS to maintain fairing air temp at approximately 59 degrees.
LC, LPO, GN2 configured for captive carry, AACS adjustments and work.
Roger that, LPO.
NASA 846, Cape Controls, Buck,
And payload LPO, LC, Victor 1.
LC, payload LPO, go ahead.
And payload LPO, be advised in step 126 alpha, similar to Monday's operation, we're going to let the soft ride system cool down before we worry about enabling or go ahead and enabling soft ride heater, so it'll be approximately 30 minutes of captive carry.
LC, payload LPO, I copy and we're standing by.
MIFCO LC on countdown, your go to perform your radio check on mission frequency with the L-1011.
MIFCO copies.
Control, November 140,
this is MIFCO on Victor 1 with a com check. How do you read?
loud and clear. MIFCO PLC,
clear now, sir. We are climbing out of 6,200.
RCO LC, your go to perform your radio check on mission freq with L-1011.
RCO copy. PLT is RCO on Victor 1 with a com check. How do you read?
RCO, PLC, will read you loud and clear.
I have the same.
And Rock LC, your go to perform your radio check on mission freq with L-1011.
Rock copies. PLT, this is a Rock on Victor 1 with a com check. I'll copy.
Rock PLC, read you loud and clear.
And I have you the same.
And RCO, step 132, verify C-band transponder operation, continuing nominal.
C-band transponder operation is nominal.
Roger that, RCO.
Cape Metro, Patrick Tower, VHF, radio check.
Patrick Tower, this is Cape Metro. I read you loud and clear. How me?
Loud and clear.
And launch team LC on countdown with the status currently in our climb cruise checklist. L-1011 is climbing out to waypoint P climb, estimated time to waypoint P climb is approximately 10 minutes at around 12:51 Zulu.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 52 minutes, 14 seconds and counting. We're joined now by Ali Mendoza-Hill. She is the mission manager for the Cygnus program for NASA's Launch Services program. And Ali, we're glad to have you. There's been a lot going on here the last few days, and we thought maybe we'd get you to recap a couple of things for us. First of all, after the first launch attempt, what did they determine was the issue with the L-1011 and the problem with the deployment mechanism?
So as most folks probably heard, it was a hydraulic pump issue that we were having. The hydraulic pump wouldn't start up. What we determined on the ground once we landed safely, that it was a tripped circuit breaker that was tripped. So we had to swap it out and then recycled the pump, and it was working fine. We had multiple cycles on the ground, but pretty much it was a controlled circuit breaker that had tripped.
So why not one that they could just reset while they were at altitude? And
right, it was it wasn't able to be reset on altitude. It had to come down, but actually it was replaced on the ground.
Completely replaced.
Yes, it was.
Then yesterday, maybe you could explain a little bit about, we know that we postponed an additional day due to a software issue associated with the Cygnus spacecraft, but maybe you could explain what it was they found and what the effect would have been had we not done something about it.
Sure. Yeah, so it was what they found. What they did is, so the spacecraft, once we were standing down for a day, what they started doing is going in through their contingency procedures, their on-orbit contingency procedures, and running checks and making sure everything was okay, because they had the extra time to go do that. And then they found it was on a flight software table. There was one parameter that wasn't correct. So it was an easy fix. It was just a matter of uploading the software into the spacecrafts, to the A spacecraft. But what they did is they took the extra diligence to just go and look at all of their software and make sure that there was something else that was going on. So we stood down overnight just to make sure that everything was okay, and they found nothing else anomalous in their software.
And they loaded...
Right, and they reloaded all the new software and then checked out and validated all the spacecraft and the software. And it was kind of just almost, make sure, check everything twice, and flight assurance for their mission operations.
Well, how's the spacecraft been doing this morning? And have they been talking with any of the downrange assets, such as in South America?
Yes, we have. Actually, on both two questions, the spacecraft's been doing really well. No anomalies so far, so they're very quiet. Batteries are charging fine. And then we do have, though, when we talked to the two stations down at French Guiana, both we did data flows twice this morning. Everything's good, no issues. Our beacons, which are just comm devices between there and here, are working fine. No issues. It's been a very quiet morning for us.
So at this point, it looks like we're go for our deployment here at 8:35, and nothing else of note. I guess hopefully we're looking for a very quiet cruise to altitude.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Alicia Mendoza-Hill, our Launch Services Program Mission Manager for Cygnus. And we're now at T-minus 48 minutes, 24 seconds and counting. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
And launch team expecting waypoint peak climb in approximately 5 minutes. And MIFCO, LC on countdown.
MIFCO.
Your go to switch command transmitters to steerable antennas.
Roger. Bronze 1 Alpha, switch to steerable antennas. LC, command carrier up, 1 Alpha master transmitter on a steerable antenna with check channel.
Copy that, MIFCO.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 46 minutes, 53 seconds and counting. This is the racetrack pattern that the aircraft is going to be flying. We can see it in the green dot at the lower portion of the racetrack on the way out to get into that pattern. The so-called drop box in which the Cygnus launch occurs is 10 miles wide and 40 miles long. And at the time of launch, the L-1011 carrier aircraft will be traveling at a speed of between 560 and 610 miles an hour at an altitude of 39,000 feet, which is 7.4 miles above the Atlantic Ocean. Once the drop command is given, the Pegasus will free fall for 5 seconds, and then the rocket ignites. The flight for Cygnus will last 8 minutes and 4 seconds, after which there will be a 5-minute coast phase, and then at launch plus 13 minutes, 4 seconds, a series of 4 spacecraft deployments from the Pegasus begins, which concludes 14 minutes, 44 seconds after the Pegasus began its flight. And at that point, all 8 of the spacecraft of Cygnus will be in orbit, and we'll be getting contact from them through our tracking stations in South America. Engineering team will be able to do an assessment of the Pegasus rocket by the chase plane very shortly, once it approaches our cruising altitude of 39,000. And a chance to look over the L-1011 as well. We're now at T-minus 45 minutes, 2 seconds and counting. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
LCPLC passing peak climb on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
And I copy PLT waypoint peak climb. And payload LPO, LC, Victor 1. And payload LPO, LC, Victor 1. LPO, LC, Victor 1.
LC, LPO, we have you loud and clear.
And I've got you loud and clear as well, LPO. Can you let payload LPO now know we're good for, we are go for cooling on at this time?
Cooling is on.
And LPO, have payload LPO try a comm check with me.
payload LPO, how copy?
Loud and clear, payload LPO.
And LC, LPO.
Go ahead, LPO.
Just to let you know that we've been having a little bit of, the aircraft has been having a little bit of the hot zone trim air. We were getting a bit higher, 80, 90 degrees air from the aircraft, so we've been unable to cool the temperature going into the fairing. What we've done is we've shut off the fan and reduced the flow rate. We've turned also cooling on, and right now it looks like they're resolving the issue. The input air to the AACS is down to 62, so we should be able to maintain cooling.
Copy that, LPO.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 41 minutes, 22 seconds and counting. We've been listening to our payload launch panel operator, Fred First, and the launch panel operator, Jim Stowers. They are in the back of the plane behind the pilot.
Received our waypoint P climb. Our next waypoint will be at P power. That's expected at approximately 12:59 Zulu, so in just about 5 minutes.
That report from our launch conductor, Adam Lewis, that we're on schedule for the next reporting point. And our two launch panel operators are behind the pilot and co-pilot and the flight engineer, just inside the flight deck.
And PLT LC Victor 1. And PLT LC on Victor 1. LPO LC Victor 1. LPO LC Victor 1.
LC PLC, go ahead.
And PLT, be advised, we're going to kick 846 off for their visual inspection. PLT, how copy?
140 Sierra Charlie, Cape Control.
PLT LC Victor 1.
Zero Sierra Charlie, Cape, go ahead.
PLT, we copied that you 846.
They're going to go ahead and begin their visual inspection, so they'll be flying a little bit closer.
140 Sierra Charlie, radar contact, no transponder, just like the last time.
Okay. It may be just our angle with the rocket under us.
Roger, that's what I assumed.
846 LC on uniform.
And 846 copies all on uniform, beginning our visual inspection.
Roger that, 846.
LC, LPO, Victor 1.
Go ahead, LPO.
Just give you a quick update. Temperature from the galley is coming down. We're at 50 degrees right now, and we're back in a nominal configuration.
Okay, LPO, we copy that.
And Cape Control, November 140 Sierra Charlie, do you need position reports?
140 Sierra Charlie, you must be reading my mind. That would be nice if you just call each point.
And 846 LC on uniform, be advised, the engineering team has completed their visual. Appreciate the close-up there.
846.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 36 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. The engineering survey of the Pegasus rocket now having been completed by the chase plane. And we're at the nominal point in the racetrack pattern for this particular point in time. We'll look now at a short video about what the Cygnus mission is all about.
A series of 8 small satellites to be deployed in low Earth orbit will sample wind speeds frequently each day to give forecasters a better impression of hurricanes and how they might form and gain in strength. The satellites, which will all launch at once from a single rocket, make up the mission known as CYGNSS, short for Cyclone Global Navigation Satellite System.
This technology, which is low power, also happens to be the only way that you can see through heavy rain.
The CYGNSS satellites will communicate with the GPS satellites. This way, with 8 satellites taking measurements, the area of Earth that can be measured is increased greatly. Successive satellites passing over the same region every 12 minutes. As the CYGNSS and GPS constellations move around the Earth, the interaction of the 2 systems will result in a new image of wind speed over the entire tropics every few hours, compared to every few days for a single satellite. Another advantage, the CYGNSS orbit is designed to measure only in the tropics, where hurricanes are most often found. The focus on tropical activity means the CYGNSS instruments will be able to gather that much more useful data on weather systems exclusively found in the tropics.
Normally, we have to fly an aircraft into a hurricane to get that precise level of hurricane wind speeds.
CYGNSS will reach space aboard an unusual rocket. This is Pegasus, and it flies into space after dropping from an airplane, not leaving a launch pad.
So a launch off of Pegasus is very unique. It's the air-launched vehicle. So what that means is that the rocket is actually placed under a plane. The plane flies at about 39,000 feet, and then the rocket is released. 5 seconds later, it ignites and leaves the atmosphere.
Measuring 55 feet long, the Pegasus is built by Orbital ATK. It uses 3 stages that each burn solid propellants to lift its payload into orbit. For CYGNSS, the time from drop to ignition and then release of all 8 spacecraft in orbit will take less than 15 minutes. Although controllers keep tabs on the aircraft and rocket throughout the flight and launch, the drop from the aircraft can be the most intense.
Those are very long 5 seconds between the release of the rocket and the ignition of that first stage motor. The rocket guys they're turning on all sorts of stuff, but on console, I'm just holding my breath for 5 seconds until that motor ignites.
Although a Pegasus rocket can be launched virtually anywhere, the CYGNSS mission calls for a launch near Florida. That's because the main area the satellites will survey is the tropical region of the Atlantic, where many of the hurricanes that threaten the mainland United States form.
Because of the hurricane corridor, we have to launch from Florida.
The modified L-1011 aircraft, formerly used as an airliner, will take off from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station and head out over the Atlantic Ocean. About 110 miles off the coast of Daytona Beach, Florida, the aircraft carrying Pegasus will begin to fly a racetrack-shaped pattern over the ocean. When all systems check out and the launch director approves the drop, the crew on the aircraft will release the Pegasus to fly into space on its own.
We have a very defined box in space and time that we must drop the vehicle so that when we ignite the first stage of Pegasus, it puts us right in line for our mission orbit.
The CYGNSS mission had been slated to launch earlier this year, but when Hurricane Matthew brushed near Kennedy Space Center, the schedule had to be adjusted.
We were originally scheduled to launch CYGNSS earlier this year in the November timeframe, but as fate would have it, Hurricane Matthew had other things to say about the Eastern Range launch schedule, pushing us into the December timeframe. So it's probably appropriate for Cygnus that we're launching a little bit later, but because of a hurricane.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 31 minutes, 48 seconds and counting. And the name of Matthew Stintel on the payload fairing of the Pegasus rocket, recognizing the role that Hurricane Matthew played in the timing of this launch. The L-1011 will soon be passing over the point in the racetrack pattern that will be used for launch, and then it will turn back and head toward that position once again for the drop. Launch today is being controlled and managed from the NASA Mission Directors Center at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. Members of the Orbital ATK Pegasus XL team are here monitoring the health of their particular launch vehicle system, while Southwest Research Institute and the University of Michigan team are looking at systems on the Cygnus spacecraft. The Cygnus Mission Operations Center, operated by Southwest Research Institute, is located in Boulder, Colorado. And the University of Michigan Science Operations Center is located at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Again, this is live video from the chase plane. And the L-1011 is now on the racetrack pattern headed toward the what they call the P launch point, which is where we would be dropping the Pegasus rocket, but then it will head out and make a procedure turn, head back in to the point that it will be on the exact flight azimuth for the drop. And the green dot to the right-hand portion of your screen on the racetrack is where the L-1011 is currently. We're still on the way to 39,000 feet. The pilot will report reaching that altitude. And confirmation they are now level at 39,000. That's the deployment altitude. And we're now at T-minus 29 minutes, 15 seconds and counting. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
And Launch Team LCO and Countdown, be advised, we have gotten confirmation that we have Patrick as our verified RTB base for today. RTB, alternate base.
LC PLT on 264.8, howdy.
And PLT, have you loud and clear? How me?
Loud and clear. Did you hear our last call on 33.8?
Negative.
Make one more call on 33.8, see if it works. LC PLT, negative comm on 133.8. We are now on 264.8.
Yeah, copy 264.8. And after we get the P launch call, PLT, let's try 123.225 as a backup, Victor.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 26 minutes, 23 seconds and counting. The Pegasus rocket that we see there is 58 feet long, 4 feet in diameter with a 22-foot wingspan. All three stages burn solid propellant, and the total weight of the Pegasus underneath the L-1011 is 50,990 pounds. This is the 42nd flight of the Orbital Sciences Pegasus launch vehicle since the program began in 1990. NASA's first launch on the Pegasus was in 1996, and Cygnus is NASA's 20th Pegasus flight. Total weight of the Cygnus payload atop the Pegasus is 761 pounds. And once on orbit, the Cygnus will have a orbital period of 95 minutes. Mission duration is planned as 2 years. Each satellite, each one of the 8, only weighs 61 pounds and is 5 foot 2 feet in length. Very small power consumption on orbit, 37 watts.
Copy P-launch. And PLT, report on turbulence, winds, and clouds at launch point.
Turbulence nil, winds 287/88, and clear clouds.
Copy all, PLT.
Cape Control, November 1400, Sierra Charlie, passing point C launch.
Sierra Charlie, gain control. Thank you, sir.
And PLT, let's try a voice check on 123.225.
LCPLC going to 123.225.
And PLT, LC on Victor 2.
LCPLC, read you loud and clear.
Loud and clear, PLT. So we will maintain checklist communications on Victor 2 and allow 846, and allow you to continue to work with airspace and Cape Control on Uniform 1.
LCPLC, copy.
And LC on Victor 2 for a comm check.
LC, LPO, I have you loud and clear.
And loud and clear, LPO.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 23 minutes, 24 seconds and counting. Aircraft having just flown over the drop point.
Thank you. I think it's just an angle. November 140, Sierra Charlie, thank you. I think it's just an angle issue with the rocket.
And I agree, sir. Thank you.
We will discontinue the waypoint calls unless you lose us again.
That's good. Thank you.
We're now 22 minutes, 20 seconds away from the deployment of the Pegasus rocket from the L-1011. Aircraft has flown over its launch position and will now make a wide turn out over the ocean toward the west, heading back east.
LC, payload LPO, go ahead.
You're now go for step 126 Alpha, enable soft right heaters.
LC payload LPO, soft right heaters on. Mark, 11.4 volts, 2.0 amps.
Copy all, payload LPO.
Looking now at our L-1011 aircraft, now at the cruise position for launch at 39,000 feet. Meanwhile, back here on the ground, here is the Launch Vehicle Data Center and the Mission Control Center, Mission Director Center, where we see our launch team communicating with the L-1011 following the flight. There is our NASA Launch Director, Tim Dunn. And this is Launch Vehicle Data Center 3, where the orbital ATK team is located, as where our launch conductor Adam Lewis is located in the second row, and in the first row, Steve Hollow, who will be our flight commentator after launch. And this is Launch Vehicle Data Center number 2, where our NASA engineering team has been following the state of health of the Pegasus rocket leading up to its launch this morning. And the chase plane flying below the L-1011.
And launch team, this is LC on countdown with an updated status. We're now complete all steps through step 140. We do have our soft right heaters now enabled. We're expecting our next waypoint call for PINS. Expecting that to occur at approximately 13:20 Zulu, and at that time will be about 16 minutes from drop time.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 18 minutes and counting. Once we're inside T-minus 16 minutes, we'll take some steps to transition the Cygnus spacecraft to internal power.
I'm going to poll for readiness for Pegasus to FTS internal. OSM?
OSM is go.
OSM is go. MIFCO?
MIFCO is go.
MIFCO is go. Peg?
Peg is go.
Peg is go. Launch team is go for FTS internal power. LPO, LC on Victor 2, we're going to perform step 146, transfer Pegasus FTS to internal power.
LC, it's in work. FTS to internal on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. FTS external power supply is off now.
LC Peg, FTS on internal power and nominal.
Copy, Peg. And launch team at this time like to poll for final FTS arm checks. OSM?
OSM is go.
OSM is go. MIFCO?
MIFCO is go.
MIFCO is go. Peg?
Peg is go.
Peg is go. LPO, poll for final FTS arm checks.
LPO is go.
Launch team is go for final FTS arm checks. MIFCO, step 149, send and remove arm command.
Roger, on my mark, sending arm. 3, 2, 1, mark. Arm sent. Arm removed. CSE's in check channel.
LC Peg, FTS arm checks nominal.
Roger that, Peg. MIFCO, verify FTS arm checks nominal.
Stand by. LC MIFCO countdown net, FTS checks nominal.
Copy that, MIFCO. And this is LC on Uniform 2 and countdown. We have completed our FTS checks. FTS checks are now complete. Check 152. LPO, step 142, inspect launch pressures, activate hydraulic pump if required.
LC, LPO, launch pressures recorded and nominal.
Roger that, LPO. You are go to release, excuse me, you are go to arm release mechanism.
LC, LPO, it's in work.
LC, FSL, Cygnus is ready for internal power.
Copy that, FSL.
LC, LPO, the release mechanism is armed.
Copy, LPO, check 143 complete. PLT, confirm release arm.
LC, PLC, PLC confirms release arm.
Roger that. Payload LPO, your go for step 141 Bravo.
LC, payload LPO, 141 Bravo in work.
LC, PLC, passing PINS on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
And I copy PINS. We'll go ahead and check step 141 complete.
LC, payload LPO, 141 Bravo is complete. Cygnus battery charging disabled.
Copy, payload LPO, check 141 Bravo.
LC, FSL, Cygnus confirms we're on internal power.
And FSL, I copy, check 141 Charlie.
This is
LPO, we're ready for cooling on and to remain on through drop.
LC, LPO, cooling is on.
And PLT, you go to power off anti-collision lights.
LC, PLC, in work.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, T-minus 13 minutes and counting. The release mechanism for the Pegasus has been armed and Cygnus is on internal power.
SMD on your net. Cygnus is go for power off for DMAU power off.
Copy that, SMD. We'll check 152 Bravo, 152 Alpha. Payload LPO, your go for 152 Bravo. Turn off Cygnus DMAU power.
LC, payload LPO, DMAU power off.
Copy that, payload LPO. Check 152 Bravo.
LC, FSL, confirm power off.
Roger, FSL. And LO, LC, can you confirm weather status?
LC, LO, weather is green.
Copy, weather is green.
We're now at T-minus 11 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Our NASA Launch Director, Tim Dunn, will poll the NASA team at T-minus 8 minutes, and we'll get a go from the Cygnus Mission Director.
LPO LC Victor 2, can you verify drop waypoint entered in GPS?
LC, LPO, drop waypoint has been entered.
Copy that. Check 160. And payload LPO LC.
LC, payload LPO, go ahead.
Your go for 164. Switch to aft camera.
Aft camera now.
And we've been joined by our NASA Facebook Live coverage at this time. Our status for launch is go, still targeting an 8:35 a.m. drop this morning. And we're now T-minus 10 minutes and counting. Our NASA launch director will be conducting his poll in about 1 minute. Again, you can follow this on the NASA's Facebook Live site as well as on NASA television and on the web.
CE.
NASA CE is go.
SMA. CE.
NASA CE is go.
SMA.
SMA is go.
SMD. NASA MEM.
NASA MEM is go.
LSP.
LSP's go.
And PEG LC countdown.
NLM copies. The NASA team is go for Cygnus launch.
Standing now for Pegasus to go to internal power.
LPO LC Victor 2, your go for step 158. Go for avionics to internal power.
LC, LPO, avionics to internal on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. Avionics external power supply is off.
Copy LPO.
LC PEG, avionics on internal power and nominal.
Copy PEG. Copy PEG.
And LC, LPO, step 163 is also complete.
Roger that. We have fin pin engage, disengage switch at disengage.
A firm.
Rock, LC, can you report range status?
Range status is proceeding.
Roger, proceeding.
We're at T-minus 5 minutes, 55 seconds and counting. Our terminal count begins at launch minus 4 minutes.
LCPLT passing PIP on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Copy PIP, PLT. We'll go ahead and check 154. I can verify launch window is go. And I can verify launch window is go. Check 155.
LCPLT, L minus 7 minutes. 3, 2, 1, mark.
And I copy L minus 7. Check 161. Payload LPO, your go for step 161 Alpha. Payload LPO, Victor 2, your go for 161 Alpha.
LC, payload LPO, south right heaters off.
Roger that, LPO.
Countdown clocks here in the Mission Director Center have been adjusted for the aircraft's current position for the nominal drop point. We're now at T-minus 6 minutes, 14 seconds and counting. And the actual drop is not based as much on the countdown as it is the position of the aircraft relative to the nominal ideal target drop point. About T-minus 90 seconds, we'll get a final fin sweep test. That actually starts at 45 seconds before the drop, where they can put the hydraulic systems on the rocket through their paces, and then retract the fin pins, which...
PLT, L minus 5 minutes. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Copy L minus 5, PLT. And launch team, at this time I want to poll for final launch countdown. Rock?
This is the Rock. Range is green. Clear to launch.
Rock is clear to launch. Peg?
Peg is go.
Peg is go. Orbital?
Orbital is go.
Orbital is go. NLM?
The NASA team is go for launch.
NLM is go for launch. Launch team is go to proceed with final countdown at L minus 4. Launch team is go to proceed with final countdown at L minus 4.
LCPLT, L minus 4. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Copy L minus 4. I can verify launch windows go.
And LC Peg, we're go for transient power.
Roger that, Peg. LPO, step 170, apply transient bus power.
LC, LPO, transient power on now.
Copy that, LPO.
LC Peg, transient power on and nominal, vehicle is safe.
Roger that, Peg. And Peg LC, confirm ready to configure SIGI for flight.
LC Peg, we're ready to configure SIGI for flight.
Check 173.
SIGI is the guidance system on the Pegasus.
Minus 3, 2, 1, mark.
I copy L-3 and LPO, your go for 174. Proceed to configure SIGI for flight.
LC, LPO, that's in work.
NASA 846, what is the best side for sun?
Looks like the right side where we are now will be the best.
Okay, after launch we'll make a slight left turn.
Copy all.
LC Peg, SIGI configured for flight.
Roger that, Peg.
LC, LPO, SIGI configured for flight.
And I copy LPO. We'll check 174 and 175.
LC, PLT, L-2, 3, 2, 1, mark.
Copy L-2.
2 minutes to launch.
LPO, step 177, switch CSE to LPO tab.
LC, LPO, CSE at LPO tab.
Roger that. And PLT, you go to acquire launch heading at 118.7 mag.
LC, PLT, and work.
And we'll pick up the fin sweep here. The lens appears to have fogged over, but we'll probably still see the fin sweep, which starts at minus 90 seconds.
LC, PLT, L-1, 3, 2, 1, mark.
Roger, L-1, and LPO, you go to activate fin battery at L-45 seconds.
LPO copies. Fin battery on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Fin battery's
Starboard
activated.
now. Port now. Rudder now. Fin sweep now.
LC, this is Senior MEFCO. Countdown to L1011 in the box. Did you copy L1011 in the box?
Copy in the box.
Copy that.
L1011 is in the drop box. T-minus 12, T-minus 10. Peg is go for launch. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
LT, stand by as you guys reacquire heading.
LC, PLT, copy.
LC Peg is go for launch.
PLT, LC is go for launch. PLT, confirm.
LC, PLT confirms go for launch.
Drop on my mark. 3,
2, 1. Go for release.
Pegasus is away.
And drop. Pegasus is away.
LC, PLT.
Ignition of the Pegasus rocket with Cygnus, helping hurricane forecasters understand and predict the intensity of hurricanes.
Fin actuator system is working properly to control the flight of the vehicle during stage 1. Power buses remain nominal, approximately 30 seconds into flight.
RCO. First motion time of 13:37:21.
Vehicle is now past Max Q. Attitude remains
That's
nominal.
13:37:21.866.
Attitude remains nominal. Power buses remain strong.
LC is go for launch. PLT, confirm.
Confirms go for launch.
Coming back.
Drop on my mark.
Confirms go for launch. Confirms go for launch.
Coming back looks good. 1, first stage to burn out. Right on time. And drop. Pegasus is away.
Stage 1 is burned out. Attitude remains nominal.
Coming up on first and second stage separation.
Approximately 10 seconds until stage 1 separation and stage 2 ignition. Stage 2 stage 1 separation. Stage 2 ignition. Stage 2 TVC is operating nominally and controlling the flight of the vehicle.
Standing by for fairing separation.
Power buses remain strong. Approximately 20 seconds till fairing deployment.
And drop. Pegasus is away. Second stage flight looks good.
Fairing separation is confirmed. Attitude remains nominal after successful fairing separation.
This animation based on actual flight data.
Approximately 30 seconds,
release.
20 seconds until stage 2 burnout.
And drop. Pegasus is away.
The vehicle is flying down the nominal track, indicating good performance. Stage 2 is burned
and drop. Pegasus is away. Our flight engineer, Steve Hollow.
Long coast phase between stage 2 and stage 3.
Steve Hollow reporting everything looks good. Here's the actual position of the rocket as it moves downrange.
And vehicle guidance and performance look excellent through stage 2 burn. Vehicle systems are performing nominally. We have slightly less than 200 seconds until stage 3 ignition.
And drop. Pegasus is away.
Fin actuator system is working. Vehicle continues nominally as we're in the stage 2-3 coast. Continues nominally as we're in the stage 2-3 coast phase.
Or now that the L-1011 is returning to Cape Canaveral after a successful deployment.
All systems remain nominal on the Pegasus Cygnus vehicle. Approximately 2 minutes until...
And drop. Pegasus is away. Ignition of the Pegasus rocket with Cygnus, helping hurricane forecasters understand and predict the intensity of hurricanes.
Fin actuator system is working properly to control the flight of the vehicle during stage 1. Power buses remain nominal, approximately 30 seconds.
This is RCO. First motion ignition, first motion time of 13:37.
Power buses remain strong. Vehicle continues to reorient.
And drop. Pegasus is away. Ignition of the Pegasus rocket with Cygnus, helping hurricane forecasters understand and predict the intensity of hurricane. Vehicles on target. We've got stage 3 ignition coming up at launch plus 6 minutes 56 seconds.
Proper attitude for stage 3 ignition, which is approximately 60 seconds away.
Standing by.
Approximately 30 seconds until stage 3 ignition. All systems remain nominal on the Pegasus vehicle. Stage 3 TVC is initiated. Stage 2 separation. Stage 3 ignition. TVC is operating nominally, following command and controlling the flight of the vehicle. Attitude remains nominal during stage 3 burn.
We've had acquisition through Karoo.
Vehicle systems remain nominal during stage 3 burn.
Have loss of signal from the Cape here in about 30 seconds. About 15 seconds after that, we'll lose data from the Jupiter Inlet Station. And Karoo now is tracking.
Attitude remains nominal. Report that we have telemetry from downrange sites in French Guiana. Stage 3 burnout. Vehicle is now in orbit. Vehicle is now reorienting into the payload deployment attitude. Vehicle systems operating normally. Vehicle is reorienting for payload deployment, which will occur in approximately 4 minutes or 6 minutes.
Both tracking antennas at Karoo report solid lock, good data.
Yep, launch. And we are now receiving telemetry from CYGNSS in French Guiana. Vehicle is stable in its payload deployment attitude. Will remain in this position for approximately 220 seconds until the first payload deployment event occurs. We're now 600 seconds into the flight of the Pegasus Cygnus vehicle, approximately 3 minutes until the first payload separation event.
And we're now at L plus 10 minutes 30 seconds into the flight of the Pegasus.
Small Cygnus observatories on the Pegasus vehicle, and they will be deployed in pairs at approximately 30-second intervals.
First deployment at L plus 1304.
Vehicle systems are operating nominally approximately 11 minutes into the Pegasus Cygnus mission.
Data from Cygnus indicates the spacecraft are healthy, and as we've just heard Steve Hollow report, the launch vehicle is also in good shape. About 2 minutes away from first deployment.
Power buses remain strong.
First spacecraft separation, less than a minute away.
All vehicle systems are operating nominally. Approximately 60 seconds until the first Cygnus Observatory deployment event. GNC reports an excellent orbit within 1 sigma of pre-flight predictions.
And the spacecraft on the third stage, almost directly abeam of French Guiana. Standing by for first deployment.
Approximately 20 seconds until the first Cygnus deployment event. Cygnus Observatories A and C have been successfully deployed. Approximately 20 seconds until observatories E and G. Cygnus Observatories E and G have been successfully deployed. Approximately 20 seconds until observatories F and H.
2 remaining deployment sequences coming up. Altitude 319
Observatories
miles.
F and H have been successfully deployed. Approximately 20 seconds until the last deployment event to deploy observatories Bravo and Delta.
Spacecraft velocity now 16,124 miles an hour, 319 miles in altitude.
And drop Pegasus is away.
V and D have been successfully deployed. Coming up on Pegasus transmitters off.
Ignition of the Pegasus rocket with Cygnus, helping hurricane forecasters understand and predict the intensity of hurricanes.
Cygnus, good hunting. Fin actuator system is working properly to control the flight of the vehicle.
And launch team LC on countdown. Be advised to maintain console positions till we have the L-1011 and the chase plane back down on the ground. Copy that, vehicle.
Here in the Mission Director Center, all smiles and handshakes. We've had a successful flight of the Pegasus. Good separation on all 8 of the spacecraft. The orbital ETK team will remain at their consoles in place in position till the L-1011 and the chase plane are successfully back on the ground on the runway at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station.
again, Pegasus team, if we could just maintain net protocol, get the plane down and safe, and chase plane down and safe, and then we'll go to the next phase here and look to hear forward from our payload folks. And for those who didn't hear, our expected wheels down time is going to be 14:10, so about 15 minutes from now.
We're about 15 minutes from the L-1011 returning here to the Air Force Station. This is Pegasus Launch Control. We're now 18 minutes, 39 seconds into the flight of the Cygnus mission, which has launched aboard a Cygnus, or rather a Pegasus XL rocket. And we're being joined now by Tim Dunn, who is our NASA launch director for this Pegasus flight this morning. And Tim, first of all, give us a quick summary about how the vehicle performed in flight once we deployed it. How did it look to you?
Looked beautiful, George. We're very excited. You can probably sense a little excitement over our shoulders here in the Mission Director Center. Excellent performance by the team. It's a great event when you have successful spacecraft separation, and when you got 8 microsatellites, you get to multiply that times 8. So that's a lot of fun. So for Pegasus, it was overall it was a beautiful day, gorgeous weather, perfectly smooth countdown. The Pegasus launch vehicle had no issues in preparing it this morning out on the skid strip here at the Cape. Spacecraft Cygnus, the Cygnus spacecraft, no problems in the prep for those either. L-1011 getting all of the activities, pre-launch engine start activities, that all went really well. On the range side, Eastern Range, phenomenal job by the Air Force as usual, with all of their myriad support that they provide to us to enable us to launch to stage out of the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station skid strip and then to launch off the coast in the Eastern Range area. So beautiful weather. Thank our launch weather officer. We had some challenges flying around a lot of precip and dealing with some fog on the runway a couple of mornings ago, but none of that present today. So hopefully everyone got to see some beautiful shots from our chase plane. That was gorgeous. We had a nominal hit the box on time and dropped Pegasus from the belly of the L-1011, had a nominal fly out. All 3 stages performed beautifully. No issues at all with the Pegasus launch vehicle performance. And then spacecraft separation of all of the 8 paired spacecraft went right on time.
And it sounds like we had good data from our partners in South America that were tracking this for us.
Absolutely. We actually had 2 teams in South America, so we had some redundancy, but our friends from CYGNSS, European Space Agency, linked in there in French Guiana. They aided us in acquiring that telemetry. In addition, we had Wallops, a NASA center here off the Virginia coast, deployed all the way down to French Guiana and set up at the airport, and we got perfect data from both sides. So I'd like to thank them for their support.
Data continuity all the way through.
Absolutely.
We had it, so.
Yes.
Well, we're not finished with Pegasus by a long shot. There is another flight coming up next year. Is that right?
Yes. As a matter of fact, our next mission on Pegasus will be the Icon mission, and that will stage out of, we'll process at Vandenberg Air Force Base, but we'll do a ferry flight down into the Pacific Ocean to the Kwajalein Atoll and launch out of Kwaj. So that is scheduled for mid-June of 2017.
Well, Tim, thank you very much, and congratulations, and we'll be talking again before then, I'm sure, but definitely from Kwajalein, so thanks very much.
You're welcome, George.
Tim Dunn, our NASA Launch Director for the Cygnus Orbital ATK Pegasus flight today. Stand by, we have some more interviews coming up with some of our spacecraft personnel to tell us how the deployments are looking. And hopefully our principal investigator may have some comments as well. So that will be coming up here, we hope, in the next few minutes. So we're now 22 minutes, 45 seconds into the Cygnus mission. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
Clock, 30 miles, report the runway in sight. Shall do. Sierra Charlie. NASA 846, Cape.
Go ahead.
Roger, you're going to follow him in and make a 360.
Hey, Firm, I'm going to stay with them till the gear is down, then I'll make a 360 and come up initial.
Roger that. Sierra Charlie, Cape, do you have a solid deck below you?
It's scattered clouds, and we're going through some right now.
Roger that, thank you.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, 24 minutes, 48 seconds into the mission of Cygnus. And we're being joined here now at the console of the Mission Director Center by Jen Scherer from the Southwest Research Institute. And John was our mission manager today for Cygnus from the Cygnus project. And John, I think we're particularly interested, first of all, as the spacecraft came off the rocket, how did those deployments appear to you?
They look great, and they were right on time, 30 seconds in between each separation. I don't know if you were watching on the screen, there was very little wobble with the deployment module on the upper stage. Yeah, so we think everything looks really, really good.
The deployments look good. Tell us a little bit now what has got to happen over the course of the next 8 hours or so?
As each of the microsats separated from the deployment module, they automatically turned on. There was a brake wire that initiated the turn on of each of the microsats. 10 minutes after that, the solar rays autonomously deploy. And then at a little bit over 3 hours after launch, we'll attempt our first contact with the microsats. At that point, they're all going to still be very close together. They won't have separated much. So it's really just to find the spacecraft. And then after that, we'll go through a series of hopefully 4 contacts where we hit 2 birds each time, basically just check the health and status of the spacecraft.
Well, how long is the checkout phase before the science team starts to get data?
The engineering checkout phase is nominally 30 days, and that includes, basically checking out all the subsystems, making sure the spacecraft's working right, and then ultimately getting the spacecraft from Sun Point, which is where they're heading right now. The attitude control system is basically checking out all the subsystems, making sure the spacecraft's working right, and then ultimately getting the spacecraft from Sun Point, which is the sun. When everything is checked out in the next couple of days, we're going to then command each spacecraft individually to go to what we call nadir, where the science antennas are pointing down at the Earth to be able to do science.
Well, John, thanks very much, and congratulations. We had a successful launch, and it looks like the spacecraft had done exactly what we wanted them to do once they came off the rocket today. So that's very good news, and now we'll just follow the progress throughout the day. Thanks so much, John Shearer.
Thanks, Pegasus and NASA, for a smooth ride.
John Shearer, our mission manager from the Southwest Research Institute. And we're now at 27 minutes, 29 seconds into the flight, and hoping now to get with our principal investigator to get his reaction to the successful launch today. We're at 27 minutes, 42 seconds into the mission. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
140 Sierra Charlie, weather at the Cape, broken 1300.
Sierra Charlie. Well, Sierra Charlie just finalized an RNAV approach.
Sierra Charlie, that's approved, weather 12 the tower. Sierra Charlie, you're now 13 miles from the airport.
Sierra Charlie. Hey, Orbital 1, you get geared down and dry, looking good. I'm going to do a spin, clear off, and come in behind you.
Orbital 1, thank you.
846. Cape Control, NASA 846 is clearing off as Orbital 1. We'll be making a right 360-degree turn and then following up initial.
This is Pegasus Launch Control, 29 minutes, 48 seconds into the Cygnus mission. And as we saw, the L-1011 aircraft is on final approach now, coming back to the runway at Cape Canaveral Air Force Station. We've just lost contact with our chase plane as they also line up for an approach to the runway. We're being joined now by Dr. Chris Ruff, who is the principal investigator for the Cygnus mission from the University of Michigan. And Dr. Ruff, I think, first of all, we're interested in your reaction. When you heard that all 8 of those satellites were off that rocket, what was your feeling?
Relief and excitement. It's hard to describe how good it feels. I mean, when the first 2 came off, started feeling good, and when the last two came off, it just, it felt fantastic.
What's the expectation from your science team? What are they going to be looking for? The first indications that they're getting what they want to see from the spacecraft.
Well, we've already started. I mean, part of the science team is all about the orbits, because that determines how our sampling works, and we've already gotten the state vectors back from the third stage, so we know what our orbit's going to be, and it's right on the money where we've been modeling and where we've been expecting. So we can start doing orbit propagation work right now. We'll start getting our science data sometime next week, and then that opens up the whole, the real science phase. But yeah, we're already at work on the orbits.
So I guess that means that the real benefits from the spacecraft, when we get into hurricane season next June, that they'll be able to get some real value to the scientists as well as the forecasters. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've done a ton of modeling in the last 4 years about what to expect, and a lot of it is based on exactly what orbits we get put into, and we're right there where we were expecting. So it's good news.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ruff, and congratulations. And I know you're looking forward to the rest of the day as you start to hear back from each of these spacecraft later on. But at this point, congratulations, and we're looking forward to the next 2 years.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much.
Dr. Chris Ruff, the Principal Investigator for Cygnus from the University of Michigan. And that will conclude our coverage here very shortly. We're going to watch the landing here of the L-1011, which is returning to base right now. And once we get the touchdown, we'll conclude our coverage. But here is the L-1011 coming back from a successful Cygnus launch for the Pegasus rocket today. We're now at 32 minutes, 30 seconds into the flight of the Cygnus mission. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
Confirm, all right.
And PLT, we have visual of your wheels down. And LPO-LC Victor 2. And PLT, we have visual of your wheels down.
846.
And PLT, LC on 270.
That's 846, left base, you're down, full stop.
You on tower, please.
LC, LPO.
LPO, LC.
Wheel stop.
Okay, roger that, LPO. And hey, just be advised, we're going to wait till we get chase plane on the ground here Then we're going to go ahead and release stations. We have vehicles should already be at the flight line along with flight systems. And hey, great job today to the flight crew.
This is Pegasus Launch Control. The L-1011 now back on the ground. Wheel stop back at the ramp. And now we see the FA-18 chase plane also returning back to Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, now turning final.
Wheels down. And LPO, LC, Victor 1?
LC, LPO.
I'm sorry, Victor 2. Hey, LPO, we're going to go ahead and release stations here in the LVDC. Is there anything you guys require from us?
I don't believe we do, and great job. We'll go ahead and jump off the comm.
Roger that. And Pegasus team, console positions are released. End of mission.
Chase plane back on the ground, and our launch conductor, Adam Lewis, has now just released the orbital ATK team from their console positions. Now that the L-1011 and the chase plane back safely on the ground, and the launch team now successfully, having launched our Pegasus with Cygnus today, have been released from their stations. Stairs going up now to the L-1011, and in just a couple of moments we will have some replays of the deployment of the Pegasus rocket from the aircraft. This is Pegasus Launch Control. We will now conclude our coverage of the flight of the L-1011 with Pegasus and Cygnus, and we will have a replay of today's launch, concluding our coverage this morning. This is Pegasus Launch Control.
Away.
And drop. Pegasus is away. Ignition of the Pegasus rocket with Cygnus, helping hurricane forecasters understand and predict the intensity of hurricanes.
Fin actuator system is working properly to control the flight of the vehicle during stage 1. power buses remain nominal, approximately 30 seconds.
Here's the
flight.
RCO. First motion ignition, first motion time of 13:37:21.
Vehicle is now past Max Q. Attitude remains
That's
nominal.
13:37:21.866.